It's me, one block, and then lava. The basics of this challenge is that lava will be chasing me at all times. If I travel upwards, lava will always fill in the space one block below me. This makes it insanely difficult to travel downward at all times. It also completely eliminates the ability to jump, except for when we jump onto an object or block higher than the one previous. By the way, I found this mod on planetminecraft.com by someone named arcrafter. The link to this mod is in the description section of this video. However, I did notice there was an added feature that provides fire res apples, custom water bottles, and ender pearl pieces upon breaking leaves and trees to help you progress in the game. As useful as these items are, I'm not going to be using any of them during this run to keep the gameplay as natural as possible. Anyway, without further ado, here's my attempt at beating Minecraft, but lava follows me. So obviously with lava and all, water is kind of our best friend here. So we need to get a bucket and supply ourselves with water ASAP. The easiest way I found to get this was to keep generating new worlds until I spawned near a village. In the village, I was able to make tools from the villagers' houses and then block off the iron golem and slay him for some free iron to make myself a bucket. Now that I have the bucket, the question is, how do I get down to the ocean to get the water without the water? Fortunately, in this village, there are several cauldrons filled with water all around for us to steal. Speaking of stealing, I needed to see what kind of useful items I could find in this village to help me on my quest to defeat the Ender Dragon. I honestly didn't find much. Oh yeah, allow me to introduce you to my old enemy. Stairs. If I accidentally climb those bad boys, I will be swimming in lava in no time. Anyway, as I was saying, I didn't find much other than a ton of bread from hay bales and some leather armor. So after exploring the village, I went to bed for the night and woke up to the fresh smell of burning flesh. It's alright guys, I'll just break this cauldron full of water to put out the lava. Luckily, the villagers spawned another iron golem, so I was able to get some extra iron from it to make another bucket. My next task is to go to the nether for blaze rods and ender pearls. All I need to make a nether portal is a bucket of water and some lava. Fortunately, I have plenty of lava right under me, so I can make this portal nice and close to my base. So after a quick YouTube tutorial on how to make a portal and some abstract methods to build higher than 2 blocks without raising the lava levels, I was able to create the gateway to the place where I spent several days repeatedly dying and losing all my stuff. The scary thing about the nether is that you are restricted from using any water in this realm. So that means we need to stay on the exact Y level we spawned in at and just hope we are eye level with everything we need here. Unless we somehow plan on building another nether portal on a higher Y level, which would require some trading with piglins, because I am nowhere close to getting a diamond pickaxe to mine this obsidian. So I noticed here that I am completely walled off and have no clue which direction to go. I learned of this fun little trick from my dad, Small Ant, where I press F3 and look around. If the number of entities rises, there's a good chance a fortress or a bastion is nearby. So I head toward the direction with the highest E value. But first I wanted to mine some gold before exploring, just so that I had some decent armor for when I encountered the blazes. Now that I have my armor, I can continue. Now that I have my armor, I can continue exploring. Lo and behold, we found the Nether Fortress. Thanks, Small Ant. You're the best dad ever. Exploring the Nether Fortress, I wanted to be as cautious as possible, not only because of the mobs around me, but also because I didn't want to accidentally walk over a blaze spawner, destroying it with the lava underneath me. Luckily, I was able to find one just within reach of my pickaxe, so I mined the ceiling above me and let the blazes fall towards me to their death. Knowing I would die at some point, I planned ahead and made a chest to immediately store any blaze rods that were dropped. And sure enough, I did die. but the blaze rods were just fine. Now that I've collected the blaze rods, I want to get them safely to my base in the overworld as soon as possible. And let me tell you, my heart was racing walking back home with these things. But I ended up making it back safely with all my blaze rods. Next, I needed ender pearls, so I decided to run around until I finally found a blue biome in the nether where endermen spawn. Oh, hold on one second guys, gotta die real quick. I set up a nice little base and farmed ender pearls like I did with the blaze rods. And man, I ended up collecting a stack and a half of these things. I just know I'm going to need a ton for the next part, which is finding the stronghold. But before I set out on my quest, I need to gather some food. I didn't show it on camera, but I ended up dying so much during this playthrough that I ended up depleting 2 villages worth of hay bales and crops. I think it's time we gather some subscribers. I mean meat. Now, you're probably wondering, where did he get all that iron? I actually realized you can dig down as long as you have a continuous flow of water. It's very slow and agonizing, but with the method shown here, I was able to get underground and strip mine for some iron. This will be extremely useful for when I die to the Ender Dragon and burn it all. Now that we have everything we need, we can set out for the Stronghold. Fortunately for us, it's in the direction of the ocean, so we can take a boat for some fast and safe travel. On my journey, I ended up finding a ruined portal with a chest full of useless items, and I also came across another village to loot and burn. Eventually, I was led to this area where the stronghold was just below. However, I had the same concern with the stronghold as I did with the blaze spawner. If I accidentally travel over the end portal, it would completely destroy it. This mod doesn't just pour lava over things, it completely erases every block in its path. So as a safety measure, I decided to dig down away from the stronghold and then dig up toward it until I reached the stronghold safely. So I dive into the water and head straight down. Swimming is similar to mining in that in order to go down, you swim at an angle. The risky part of this is that if I continue swimming down, I may accidentally wall myself in with obsidian and drown. So I crafted some doors to use underwater when I would run out of air. I swam down as far as I could and began to mine down using the water from the river. I spent several days down here mining and using the method I learned from my dad to see where I was in relation to the stronghold. I eventually passed the stronghold as I found myself falling into a deep cave full of mobs. Can you guess what happens next? Yeah. Nearly 20 hours of progress wasted and left with nothing. I tapped out after this one, guys. Leave a like on this video if you want me to give it another shot. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and leaving a comment. Let me know what you would have done differently. And thanks again to arcrafter for making such a banger mod. I'll see you guys later.